Thank you for joining the March 21st, 2019 VOLTA call. We have a couple topics on our agenda today. We do post these meetings to YouTube, so please keep that in mind during discussions and presentations. And with that, our first item for today is an update on the automation testing and next steps from North Forge. And let me just check who I should give presentation rights to.
Hi, Julie. It's George here. Gilles is going to make the presentation.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Are you ready for me to give you the presentation rights?
Yes, please.
Okay. You should have them in a moment now. Thanks.
Let's see. Do you see my screen? There we are. Okay. 101. Just a moment. Do you see the presentation?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So, so just an update from the last time we spoke. So the major accomplishment is that we have all 5 test cases running. Just to go over the team again. So myself, as the unique software developer, we have Daniel Long, who's the chief architect, and then there's a handover of the software development manager role from George Montano over to Cristiano Sensi.
Hi, so Cristiano is here with us today. Please welcome Cristiano, and I would thank you very much for your support, and it was really a pleasure to work with the community. So you're in great hands with Cristiano.
Well, George, thank you for all the support, and hope you continue to be engaged.
I will keep joining as much as I can. Yes, I will focus more on customer projects, but I definitely keep the interest on VOLTA and would like it to continue to be very successful. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Just a moment. Okay, so the agenda, I'll quickly go over the purpose of test automation and a quick review of how it works. And then for accomplishments, we'll look at the roadmap, and I'll have a few reports for the test case suites and then the logs, just to show you an overview of what it looks like. And then I'll quickly go over the team update and just the references. Okay, so the purpose of test automation is to detect the bugs as early as possible in the development phase. So although there's further functional testing that takes place, it's much more difficult to isolate once the code has been merged and the build is broken. So this is to isolate it before the code gets merged. So each patch currently submitted to Garrett is now sanitized with 3 Jenkins jobs. So the existing ones before us were the VOLTA license and the unit test, and now we have the A-test provisioning that does the test, runs the test automation suite. So it must pass all 3 Jenkins review to get a +1. So, quick review of how the test automation works. So it's driven by a Jenkins pipeline that consisting of the following sequential steps. So first, it clones the automated testing repository along with the user patch. Then it builds VOLTA, ONOS, and Ponsum v2 Docker images. And then it deploys that using Kubernetes and Helm into a VOLTA cluster running on a single node. The robot framework then executes all the tests in the suite. The VOLTA cluster is recreated and torn down before and after running each test case of the suite. For test management, so we're invoking the test using CLI through SSH commands, wrapped in Python functions, and we use the pexpect library. So each test case has a success or failure return code, and a single failure will reject the whole test. So at the end of the test, then this produces a whole series of logs and the robot reports as well. And those are all published, attached to the Jenkins job. So this is the roadmap. So we had provisioned 6 test cases, and we've accomplished the 5 that we could. Multicast has been postponed because the functionality has not been delivered yet. So in terms of future, first thing we're doing, we're moving to BBSIM, and that's already underway. So we've got provisioning and enabling working, and then LLT and ONU discovery as also. But we're working off master, so we know we'll be blocked at some point. So we're not going to be able to get that far. And we're also considering using physical OLT and ONU as well. But that's after we get the BBSIM functionality going. So this is an example of a test case suite report. So the focus is on the fact that there's 5 test cases have passed and 0 have failed. So that's what's currently running right now. And it lists the test cases, and then it produces the documentation that's in the robot framework file.
Mm.
And it shows the status, the pass, which is the key. Open. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's the logs, an example of the logs. Each of the test can be expanded, and you can really go into the any failure that has occurred. You can also look at any of the log artifacts that are produced with the test. So that's also another element to help you understand what went wrong. So as I said, now this is the current ongoing team with Cristiano leading as software development manager, myself, and Danielle. And these are the some of the references. So we have an HLD wiki page, and there's also a Jira Epic that lists all the associated Jira issues. And then we have even some reusable Python test libraries, and ONF QA have already made use of some of our APIs. So it's good to be able to share some of that work. So that's it.
Great. Thank you so much. So is this test suite part of the system testing for the CBA, or they just using the APIs?
Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly they are using. I think they're running more functional tests. Rather, we're doing it at the VOLTHA level, and they have some functional tests going, but I'm not sure what exactly they're running.
So this just tests basically, I'm assuming the VOLTHA 1.x master branch, and then any of the containers needed to just run VOLTHA. So like VOLTHA's flavor of ONOS with the apps built in, free radius maybe, none of the SIBA northbound components, I'm assuming, correct?
Correct. That's correct. Yeah, for us, yes, exactly.
So another quick question is, so this is run on every commit to the 1.x repo? It'll run
Yes,
through and run.
it is. Yes, if you're not already aware, yes, it is, and it has been for some time, but it gradually built up the number of test cases.
So I think that one of the takeaways there is I notice, some folks, when you commit to 1.x now, it may seem Jenkins may be fussier. It may be now fussier because it ran these tests and found something functionally broken.
Yes.
So yeah, that's good. That's a good thing.
That's good.
So good stuff.
And
do you intend to start tackling some other functional areas of the whole pod as far as setting this up? Or are you looking for everybody to pitch in here?
What we've been asked is that BB-SIM is the next opportunity or requirement. So that's what we're focusing on. So this is running right now with PON-SIM v2, and they'd like us to be running with BB-SIM.
They would actually use the real adapters, or the two at least.
Yeah, the open OLT adapter as opposed to the PON-SIM adapter.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Awesome. That's good.
And I guess the next phase is probably adapting that into the 2.0, right? The 2.1.
Yeah, I assume that there's going to be some work to accommodate that. Yes.
Right. I think that'll be great.
Any other
So
questions?
there you have it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jill. Thanks all for the comments. Thanks
Okay.
for the opportunity to present.
Yes. Thank you all.
All right. Any last call for questions then for North Forge today? Okay, I'll take presentation rights back. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Great to hear the progress. Our next item today is William is going to have some discussion on the VES agent. So William, do you have anything you would like to present? Should I give you presentation rights?
Yes, please.
Okay. And you should have them in just a moment.
All right.
Yeah. So Don, is that correct? The VES agent idea is so we can funnel all the alarm events and probably PMs also from inside the SIBA pod to go out northbound to the SIBA, right?
Well, yeah. Let me explain. So the point of it is take the alarms KPI, the PMs, which it currently does do, and send them to the ONAP input for this sort of information, which is called the ONAP information. The ONAP area is called the VES collector. So this is a VES agent that sits on the SIBA. It's actually kind of at the SIBA layer in terms of it reads off Kafka and sends them up to ONAP. So I think we've kind of called it as part of the NEM.
Or whatever the VES.
Northbound.
Yeah, doesn't have to be just ONAP, right? Whatever using the VES on the northbound, and then.
Well, I mean anything using so this is specifically coded for the VES protocol. So
right.
Yeah, anything that uses that, we work with.
So the VES protocol is something defined in ONAP?
Yeah, it's defined in ONAP. I'm not aware of things other than ONAP using it.
Okay. So I guess anybody who uses ONAP in the open sense, but could make most use of it.
With ONAP, in theory, what the college progress on this is, in theory, if they have a distributed deployment to cover different areas, the VES collector would be deployed in different locations. Rather than always be central, then the system in ONAP could handle taking it off to their central area or whatever they want to do. But the VES collector is who you talk to send certain kinds of information, including alarms and KPIs. Everyone see my screen fine? Well, yeah.
Yes.
So let me just show you kind of show you in action briefly. And let me just. So here I've got let me get the wide. Here I've got a SIBA VOLTHA set up here. You see here I have the VESS agent installed as a pod.
I don't think we're seeing the right material yet. We just see a VOLTHA Meeting kind of blank screen.
So I think it just shared the browser then.
Yeah, this is why I always share the desktop.
Yeah.
It's easier.
I clicked the browser.
The only risk is shame.
Make sure you're
Right.
Yeah, I'll make sure to hide all that stuff.
It's only shame.
your tender pop up. You should turn that.
You know, public humiliation is good for the soul.
Not on YouTube though.
That's why we go drinking.
Okay, so let's see if that's better. No.
I'm going Michigan State.
Okay. Sorry. Let me see what's going on. Yeah, this should be the entire screen.
Stop sharing and then reshare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down at the bottom.
Yeah. Try this one more time. So you see my other stuff.
Yeah, I don't think you ever stopped sharing because we never stopped seeing what you.
Oh, well, I mean, okay. Sure.
Yeah, just outright.
I mean, that's what I did. I clicked stop sharing. Let me re-enter. Because it doesn't seem to be updating.
Right.
Do you want me to grab presentation rights back and then hand them over again, see if that triggers it?
Yeah, try that.
Yeah, I'm reloading it right now.
Oh, okay. I'll wait then.
I'd say go ahead and grab it and then share it back
Okay.
out again. There it goes. Okay.
Okay.
So she'll offer it back and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Let me try
Oh,
again.
that's Julie.
Oops, hold on. Saw you in the name twice. Okay, I've got two different. Okay, one William just went offline, so I think I know which one to hand it over to now. Give that a try. Oh, nope. Did that work?
Hold on.
You're in the attendee list twice. That's why I'm not quite sure, but one is showing as offline.
It tells me I'm the presenter. Do you think it could be my Wi-Fi?
Wait, hold on. Not it? You are the presenter. Yeah, minimize.
Oh, yeah, there.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, now we're looking into the future.
Yeah. So.
Oh, you just left.
I just left?
It says you left.
Maybe my Wi-Fi isn't working right in this room.
Could be. Mine was fussing.
Which one are you on?
D2.
All right, let me try switching. One D2 guys.
Yeah, you should probably D2 guys.
Okay, so that's probably the issue. Is it? I think it came as shared, but it was very slow to update.
Yeah, get on D2. Sorry about this.
Yeah.
So, is someone ringing the bell? I remember.
Yeah, welcome to the Foundry. Ring the doorbell. Come on in.
Oh yeah, we've seen something now.
We just,
Yeah, that's it. Time like flew forward.
there we
Oh,
go.
there we go.
There, okay, so that was the issue.
That was it. All right. Okay, so
So back where I was, I have a SIBA VOLTHA instance running here, with it generating alarms. So right now I'm generating alarms off of simulated OLT. Because I didn't have a whole lot of time to get it set up, but it does generate a simulated alarm that demonstrates the whole flow. So basically, these entries, each one of these that comes in, it'll read it off, transform it into the VES format, and send it off, send it on. So getting out that,
Hey, you guys in Foundry pretty noisy there.
yeah,
isn't even half of it.
fun place. So I have that VES agent there, and I can show you it's doing stuff. So you see, I just took the logs. Most recently, I just sent a fault event off the VES, and there's a lot of information there. For tracking what happened, but you see that, for instance, this message took 24 milliseconds to send. And it just keeps doing this for alarms and PMs.
So the destination is your own, the ONAP cluster we have.
Yes, and it knows where ONAP is because we have an ONAP DNS configured to go point to it.
Configured in the VES agent Helm chart.
Yeah, you can configure. Yeah, I have the Helm chart here. So, oops. Basically, you can configure where the ONAP is, where the Kafka is, and the Kafka thing actually keeps changing it. Like in the past, it was something else. For this demo, I had changed it to core platform Kafka. That's
the recent change.
Yeah, but all the connection information is configurable. So I mean, it doesn't have to run in SIBA as long as it can access all the things. It really doesn't matter. And so it keeps hitting those. So if we switch over to I have an ONAP instance running here. This is actually a small ONAP instance. I think I have to run on it. Let me see. Yeah. Right now it's set to run on root. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of time to get this thing working again. ONAP is quite a bit of, but it's kind of pretty fun to set up. So here, this is ONAP with a bunch of pods. This is a kind of miniature install. I took out all the things that are not relevant to the VES or the DMAP, which is where things ultimately end up. The DMAP is ONAP's Kafka bus. So I mean, essentially what ONAP does is the VES collects it and sends it off the DMAP. So you see here, there's a VES collector. Yeah, right there at the top. And so we can actually see the information that gets there by curling the DMAP Kafka bus. So there's the fault. So the alarms we have here get sent to the fault topic. And there they are.
So I mean, this is just one form. This is the best format. This is the JSON.
This is
best format.
Yes. And we mapped the VOLTHA information to it, but for now it's also including the kind of the whole VOLTHA message since no one's using it yet, so maybe some more engineering to do on it once someone's consuming it. But once it's a consumer, they can query the DMAP to get it. And if you, so I go out of here. So I have this Python script here that goes and tells me the names of all the events that arrive, and right now you see it's a lot of false VOLTHA ID, and this is just because of the simulate nature of the alarms we're getting right now. We could be getting real ones, and this would be a little more interesting to see. You can also get KPIs in a similar way. But right now it's on the other topic, because the KPIs we produce are not ones that match up to what I've seen in ONAP currently. So this works for now. It's just an area that has just room for improvement once I'm consuming it, but apparently right now there aren't any coming. Or maybe there are. I mean, it's just like I haven't arrived yet. I'm not quite, because the first time you query the topic, you actually subscribe to it, and then then next time you start getting stuff. I'm not sure if it's arriving since I queried, but that's basically the process and what exists today. Any questions?
So the VES format, that's published in ONAP, right?
Yes.
Is that an ONAP published format?
Yes. You can find it all. You can find the Swagger documentation and everything of that.
So obviously for anybody using ONAP, this makes a lot of sense because it's exactly the format that it's producing. But for any other, let's say, infrastructure management platform, it would have to be adapted to that.
I mean, and the way it's kind of written, so it's written right now is I process it and kind of parse it, and then I hand it off to the vesting. So we could add, if we didn't want to do the vest, you could add a new translation layer for what you want to send it to. That's the approach we want to go with.
So, William, currently you are getting all of those events and KPIs from the VOLTHA's Kafka bus, right?
Yes.
And how do you simulate the alarms, from the VOLTHA CLI or from something else?
Well, right now I enabled simulated OLT, and the simulated OLT produces these alarms. I know in the past we've had mechanisms to produce all the possible alarms to test that they all went through, and we worked with that.
Yeah, I want to say there was Scott Baker had an alarm simulator.
Yes.
I think to generate a bunch of alarms, and then we also plugged it into an edge core, and then actually really unplugged stuff, and then generated.
Yeah, we generated like ONU discovery events and seen them show up.
Yeah,
things like that. Lost signal alarms.
Okay, thank you. And also, I think the VES agent also supports to send via using protos, right?
If there's a proto for that format, at the time I didn't find one, but that was last year. Well,
Perhaps
no.
well, but there would have to be.
Yeah. As long as both sides use the same proto, it's fine. So if VES has since produced a proto and a proto format as part of just VES, then it would just have to be adapted.
Right? Yeah, I think it's something we could definitely do. I think what I've heard from talking to people is people just implement according to the standard, and rather than using the protos. But we could do that.
Yeah.
This sounds like a good work item if we want to take this further.
Yeah.
And also, I think this could also be using the protos that VOLTHA uses when parsing alarms and such. At the time, those were all bound up in VOLTHA, and we didn't do that. But I think we could do that now.
Yeah. Now that they're separate, they can be shareable, more easily shared, I guess.
And potentially, I think the VES protocol can be better well, I mean, even other people doesn't use ONAP probably still can take advantage of VES. And again, if you want to do a translation, it should be very easy to adapt to other systems too.
And if there's protos, then they can use Williams agent and create their own at the other end. That all it has to do is use those.
I mean, if they just want to use the VOLTHA protos and that's what they want, then we can just forward that to them.
But if they wanted to translation,
you're doing enrichment on your agent.
I am.
If they wanted to create the other end,
yes,
it's not an ONAP.
They could have a VES.
They could take advantage of your work.
Yes.
And then just write the agent that stuffs it in whatever network management system they use.
Yeah.
However they want.
So is the VES agent just like if the alarm comes? So what I'm saying is the mechanism of the VES agent, you don't pull, right? So whatever come in to the Kafka, it will automatically send out, or you have to have a retrieval kind of mechanism.
The former.
Yeah.
It's a consumer on the Kafka bus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The Kafka stores what it wants on their own little. Well, I mean, with the Kafka works, it has its own queue of stuff to grab, and it'll get it all pretty quickly.
So on the ONAP side, the listener is, I guess it's a web service that you post to, or is the ONAP listener literally the Kafka bus itself?
The ONAP listener on the ONAP side.
Yeah.
It's not the Kafka bus itself on the ONAP side.
So there's like some web server.
That's what the VES is a web server.
There's stubs that he can. One stub.
Yeah.
Okay.
The VES takes it and does stuff and pushes it onto their Kafka bus.
Okay. I see.
Right. So they're responsible to manipulate anything that to match whatever they want.
And they do some validation. They can reject things.
Oh, I see.
If you don't match the format and with certain aspects of it.
So in a plain language, the language I understand is, if I want to filter some alarm or suppress some alarm, is there something done? I mean, if I want to choose to do, not on the very, very low level, so is the VES agent can be some place to provide some policy?
I'm doing enrichment already. I mean, I already transformed it to the VES format, so they could certainly do that. If I knew this alarm type had to be transformed to this severity or something, that's definitely doable. It's not any more work.
Yeah, but if you were going to do something like that, I would say make it pluggable. So
yeah.
I mean, that gets to
if we're going to go forward with this, I think right now we've got bigger fish to fry. But.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of gets to the bigger question of is how far downstream do you want the fire hose to go, right? I mean, you may have the hardware generating all kinds of information statistics that at various levels you may want to squelch, or maybe not. Maybe you want that to flow all the way through and drink from that fire hose if you want. So I guess, pluggable, tunable is probably the best answer, but I mean, maybe at every step of the way there might need to be some filtering.
Right.
It's pluggable because then his code could stay generic for everybody.
Yeah.
And then you pull off your
filtration. Yeah. I mean, it's a good egress point to grab.
So that there's not 50 versions of the VES agent.
Right.
Yeah. 50 versions of the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, it's as good a place as any. But yeah.
So definitely, I think the next week the alarm and the PM support strategy, I would like to see whether we can reach a common at least a concept and strategy established when determine whether we want to do the manipulation on the hardware level using the interface provided by the BAO. I mean, at least for the Broadcom based. Whether the adapter need to do something or just enable everything and let the northbound to do something. I think there's some space to be discussed. So that's why I schedule sometime next week to do this.
Okay, but you understand William's not going to be there.
I understand that. But we he can call in. I'll have the WebEx established.
Yeah. Generally, it doesn't work if there's only one person on the phone or whatever, and everybody else.
I was in the listening.
Well, William.
To each other and not be picked up by the microphone.
Yeah.
So we'll try to faithfully represent the myriad of conversations that come up.
Well, William, I'll work with you offline.
That's my half a century of experience. It would be a waste of William's time. We come to a conclusion what we want, and then we'll talk with William.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's too bad William cannot be there, and he's doing some good work. And would like to have the community meet him too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Any other question from the community? Okay.
All right, I'll take presentation rights back. And that is it for our agenda today. So thanks to the presenters, appreciate the info and the presentations. And just a note here as a reminder, I think we already touched on this earlier, but next week's Tuesday and Thursday VOLTA calls, including the containerization brigade call, have been canceled on the public court calendar since we're having the face-to-face meeting in Huntsville. So if we do need to schedule a side meeting for the containerization brigade, we can do that. We'll just have to work around the schedule for the face-to-face meeting to do that. Okay, I think that's it for today. Any other topics or discussion items for today? All right, I'm not hearing any, so I think everyone will probably get about 20 minutes back. So I'll post the recording to YouTube with the material from today. And then a number of you we will see at the face-to-face meeting next week. And with that, Sean, do you have any other announcements or items you want to talk about before we drop the bridge?
I posted the agenda and with the time slot allocated on the VOLTA Discuss and SIBA developer mailing list. I have received some feedback, but if there's any topic we have missed, let me know, or some time slot adjustment, let me know. The room, Atran actually allocated 3 rooms for this event, so there will be a breakout room if some of the discussion need to happen on the site, but so it should be a good event. So wish everybody has a safe travel next week, and hopefully there will be no tornado next week. And I guess Foundry, you guys are going to drive in, right? So that's a 5-hour drive too. So everybody have it. No, William got to walk.
2-hour drive from 2 hours 45 minutes for me, so it's not too bad.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not too bad.
4.5 hours.
Oh, not. Okay, great. Hopefully everybody have found the hotel room, and then potentially if the Uber is getting too tight, we may have to catch a ride from any of you has a car. But I guess
All right,
next
well,
week.
bring a helmet because I'll be on my motorcycle.
Really? Okay. Oh, well, we'd love to see you on a motorcycle. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks everyone. And I'll just make one more reminder that Sprint 15 is targeted to close at the end of day tomorrow. So please make sure you keep JIRA updated for any items that you've been working. With that, we will go ahead and stop the recording and close today's meeting. Thanks everyone.
Bye.